Welcome, listeners. Today, we're doing something a little different, taking a deep dive, but maybe into somewhere darker. We're looking at, cemeteries. We've gathered some really unsettling accounts, actual experiences people have had in these places. These aren't, just made-up ghost stories. These are things people say really happened to them. Terrifying stuff sometimes. We're going to walk through these stories, try to feel what they felt.
Absolutely. Cemeteries have this ancient feel, don't they? Like the boundary between our world and, something else gets thin. And sometimes things slip through.
Exactly. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, our first story. It comes from a guy named Jeremy. He's an operations coordinator at a cemetery. So his job is literally managing this place of rest. It starts with this man, Antonio. Very quiet, seemed quite spiritual. He was arranging a plot for his father, who was very ill in hospice. Antonio had even shown Jeremy pictures. His dad looked like a sweet guy, taken too young. So the funeral happened fast, like that same week, and it was a really stormy day, which funnily enough, some people see as good luck, right? Jeremy remembers waving to Antonio from the office awning as the hearse went past. Just a quick wave.
A somber moment.
Yeah. And after the service, Jeremy went back to his routine. Paperwork, checking the grounds, the usual stuff. But he was also the one closing up the cemetery that night. Closing time was 5:30 p.m. It was early March, kind of warm for the time of year, but the storm and short days, it felt like midnight already. So he's driving back to the office, and that's when the first weird thing happens. He sees someone hurrying down one of the lanes between the tombstones. Then they just turn behind a hedge and disappear. So he honks, thinking, hey, we're closing. But nobody comes out. He gets his umbrella, spends a good 20 minutes searching in the pouring rain. Nothing. Nobody there.
That's unsettling. When a space you know so well suddenly feels wrong. Like you're not alone, especially with the storm adding to it.
Right. So he goes back to the office, feeling kind of uneasy, checks the CCTV. But between the rain and how dark it was, he couldn't see anything unusual. He tries to multitask, keep an eye on the monitors, finish his paperwork, and then, bam! The front door to the visitation room just slams shut, loudly. He jumps up, calls out, thinking maybe it's that person he saw, maybe they got locked in somehow. He steps into the lobby, empty, calls out again, starts checking the windows, locking up, and then he freezes. Looking through one of the windows, there's someone standing right on the other side, staring back at him. Just a blank expression. He said he physically jumped back, screamed, but the figure didn't even flinch. He steps closer, trying to see properly, and then it hits him. He knows that face.
Oh no.
It looked exactly, and I mean exactly, like the pictures Antonio showed him of his father, the one who had just been buried. His heart's pounding, throws the front door open, runs to where the man was standing. Gone. Just vanished. Not like he ran off her head, just gone. He's standing there getting soaked by the rain, totally stunned. Then he just scrambles back inside, locks everything frantically, gets in his car, and drives straight home. His wife asked him what was wrong. He just muttered something about, long day. He still doesn't know. Was he just overworked, stressed, seeing things? Or did he actually see? That doubt really stuck with him. Okay, our next story. This one takes us to a different town. Big, old, kind of poor place. Dates back to the 18th century. It's a chilly, windy October night. Told by another Jeremy, actually, and his friend. It's like 3 a.m. They're bored. They're big metalheads driving around blasting music. They decide, let's go check out the huge cemetery behind the old town square. It's massive, like 20 acres. So they go into the older part. It's separated by this old iron fence, ancient graves covered in moss, like a century old. He admits they're being a bit disrespectful, taking pictures, goofing around. Figured, who cares? The dead probably don't mind.
Yeah, that youthful feeling of invincibility, maybe.
Maybe. So they're there for about an hour, just sitting near this huge pecan tree in the middle of this old section. And then they hear it, a little girl laughing. Really close. At first they kind of brush it off, maybe a toy left on a grave, one of those motion-activated things. They weren't easily scared, apparently. They even joked about how creepy it was, kind of enjoying the spooky vibe.
The mind tries to find a rational hook, doesn't it? Before it accepts the truly strange.
Exactly. But then Jeremy says he got that feeling, like prickles on his neck, being watched, tried to ignore it, blame the atmosphere, but then his friend points towards some trees right next to them. He swears he saw someone standing in the shadows there. Okay, now they're properly spooked. Time to go, and as soon as they decide that, they hear it again. The exact same laugh, followed immediately by the sound of leaves crunching, right behind them.
Oh, that's chilling. Confirmation.
Yeah. They just bolted, ran downhill towards the car faster than they ever thought possible. Said the laughing sounded like it was following them. Pure fight or flight. Didn't even think, just ran. The second they reached the car, silence. He jams the key in, starts it, and peels out onto the highway. Didn't even look. Lucky they didn't get hit. They drive to the nearest gas station that's open, heart still pounding. They were worried maybe someone messed with the car, did something to it while they were gone. They get out to check it over, and both back doors are wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open. And he swears neither of them opened the back doors at all that night. He quickly checks inside, nothing there, jumps back in, and they peel out again. He says he's still just confused by it all, can't make sense of it, and whenever he tells the story, he gets this weird feeling again, like something's right behind him. Okay, story number 3. This happened in the summer. The narrator was 19 with his friend Sean, who he calls a goofball. Random idea. Let's go check out this creepy little cemetery across town they knew about. He describes it as really small, maybe only 100 graves, tops, all really old, archaic looking, couldn't even read most of them, looked like nobody had visited in decades, centuries maybe. Proper Gothic metal fence around it, woods on 2 sides, a road on another, and then this old abandoned building right next to it. The whole place just screamed creepy.
Setting the scene perfectly there, all those elements together.
Yeah, definitely creates a vibe. So Sean talks him into it. The weather matched the mood too. Cloudy day, weird reddish light. They park down the road, cut through the woods, hop a low bit of fence so nobody sees them go in. Almost immediately, walking among these 19th century graves, the narrator gets that feeling again. Being watched. He tells Sean, "Dude, I feel like we're being watched." Sean agrees it feels super creepy.
That instinct again. Our senses picking up things we don't consciously register.
An awareness of presence. Totally. So he's feeling watched, glances over at the abandoned building next door, and he swears, just for a second, he sees someone standing in a window, even through the dirty, foggy glass. Then the figure just ducks away or walks off. He tells Sean, "Look, someone's in that building. They're watching us." Sean looks, and then typical Sean apparently gets curious, starts looking for a way into the building. The narrator's like, "No way, man, let's just go. We're going to get in trouble." But Sean's already searching. The narrator stays put near a tombstone. Sean finds a way in, calls him over, but he refuses to go. Suddenly, there's this loud crack sound, and then this older guy appears, maybe 55, gray hair, black raincoat, jeans, mustache, and he just screams at them, "Get out!" The narrator emphasizes it wasn't yelling, it was a full-on scream, so loud birds flew out of the trees. And right then, the narrator says he felt super lightheaded, everything went dark, and he just fainted, passed out cold. Says it only ever happened once before in his life. Next thing he knows, he's waking up, being dragged through the woods. He panics, thinks he's being kidnapped, but then he sees it Sean, totally terrified, yelling, "Get up, run it!" He doesn't ask questions, just scrambles up. As they're running, he hears something behind them, looks back, yep, they're being followed. They run even faster. They make it to Sean's car. He floors it out of there. Later, Sean tells him what he saw inside that building just before the guy screamed. He found this symbol painted on the floorboards, called it a sigil of bafflement, basically like a satanic symbol. And all around it were these really freaky dolls with button eyes.
Oh, that's disturbing. Adds a whole other layer.
Right. Sean didn't see anything else because that's when he heard the scream outside. He ran out, saw the narrator passed out flat on the ground, and the old man was slowly walking towards him. Sean just reacted, literally, picked the narrator up, threw him over the low fence, then jumped over himself. That's when the narrator woke up, and they ran. He still can't get over fainting like that. Especially in a graveyard, right next to what sounded like some kind of, satanic ritual building. Just bizarre and deeply unsettling. This next one, it's very personal. Comes from someone visiting their grandpa's grave. His grandfather had recently passed away, and he was visiting on his birthday in July. They'd been incredibly close. He describes the day as rainy, depressing. The cemetery was about an hour away. His family lived closer and had already been. He says, visiting a cemetery on a day like that just feels extra gloomy. It was a big place. He didn't know it well, only been a couple of times before as a passenger. Took him a while to find the plot. Hardly anyone else was there, probably because of the rain. Anyway, he finds the gravestone, parks his car, puts down some flowers. Then he just stood there for a bit, eyes closed, praying, remembering his grandpa. When he finished, he opened his eyes and looked up. About 5 rows of graves down, straight across from them, there was an old man just standing there, staring right at him. And he knew instantly it was his grandfather. He thought, no, that can't be right. Rubbed his eyes, looked again. The figure was gone.
Wow. Grief can do strange things to perception. Manifesting desires or fears, or maybe, just maybe, something more profound happens in those moments.
Yeah.
A connection.
Yeah. Whatever it was, he said this wave of chills just washed over him. Goosebumps everywhere. He was, in his words, quite honestly freaked out. He gets back in his car, whispers, "Love you, Grandpa," and starts the drive home. As he's driving, he starts getting this weird headache. He's on this quiet road, Prospect Road, dense forest on both sides, deer cross there all the time. He's the only car. And as he's driving, he spots someone on the side of the road. No sidewalk, nothing. He slows down, looks closer, and thinks, no, it looks like my grandpa again. The second that hits him, his heart just drops. He accidentally swerves, has to slam on the brakes, car skids in the middle of the road. He looks back immediately to where he saw the figure. There's just a deer standing by the roadside looking at his car. His heart's pounding out of his chest. He's terrified now. Feels physically unwell, just needs to get home. Checks for traffic, gets back in lane, tries to focus. He felt weird all day after that. Not really sick, but just did back. Something wasn't right with my head, he said. Went to bed early. Then, around 2 a.m., his phone rings. Unknown number. His heart starts racing again. He answers it. Just static. He says, hello. More static. Then, just for like half a second, buried in the static, he thought he heard his grandpa's voice.
Just for a moment.
Just a flash. He tried to say something back, but he was too shaken up. Said his whole body was trembling, couldn't control it. Then the call just cut out. Dead air. He called the phone company the next day, tried to trace the number. They couldn't. No record of it. He says that whole day, the cemetery, the drive, the phone call, it was the most terrifying experience of his life. He doesn't know if his dead grandfather was trying to reach him, admits it sounds ridiculous, says you think it would be emotional, maybe joyful, but no, it just terrifies him. Still wonders almost every night if that was really his grandpa on the phone. All right, our last story for today. This one is another teenage escapade. Happened in October, Halloween season. Narrator was about 17 or 18. He was drunk, hanging out with friends, Ryan and Mike. He gets the bright idea, let's go sneak into this small cemetery about 10 minutes from his house. Ryan was a sober driver, so he takes them. They park across the street in some deserted lot well past midnight. They check nobody's around, hop the fence. It's pretty dark, hard to see far. They're all using their phone flashlights. Didn't seem like there was any security, so they kind of split up, wandered around. The narrator goes off on his own, decides he wants to make a creepy video, so he starts recording with his phone, flashlight on, filming the old headstones, trying to capture the eerie nighttime vibe. He realizes he can't see Mike or Ryan anymore, so he starts looking around for them, still recording. He glances down at his phone screen and freezes. There's a woman on the screen. She's wearing what looked like a white gown, had long grayish hair, looking down at the ground.
Interesting. Visible only through the device. There are theories about that, certain phenomena only appearing on specific frequencies or to electronic sensors.
Right. So he looks up from the phone, trying to spot her with his own eyes. Nothing. She's not there. He starts backing away slowly, glances back down at his phone screen. She's there again. But now she's looking straight into the camera, straight at him.
Oh, that's direct.
He looks up again, gone, looks back down at the phone screen, and she's moving closer to him. That's when he loses it. Starts screaming for Mike and Ryan, turns and just sprints away from that spot. Can't see their flashlights, they're not answering. He thinks maybe they're messing with him, trying to scare him. He just runs straight for the fence, hops back over it, makes it back to Ryan's car, sends him frantic texts, get out, get out, get out, and now WA.
Right.
A few minutes later, they show up at the car, probably wondering what his problem is. He shows them the video he took. He said their faces just mirrored his own horror. Watching it back, they could clearly see her. See the moment she slowly lifts her head and looks right at him. Then, for a second or two before he screams, the camera goes wild. She starts moving towards him. But the really chilling part, how she moved. There was no leg movement at all. She just seemed to float.
Floating. That definitely rules out someone just walking around.
Yeah. He says he still has that video. It's saved on his old iPhone 4S. But the phone is busted now, gets stuck on the Apple logo, won't fully turn on. He refuses to reset it, hoping he can somehow get the video off it someday. His friends. They think it must have been a real person, someone else in the cemetery that night. But the narrator, the one who saw her only through his phone, he says he was never a believer in the paranormal until that night.
Wow. Some genuinely chilling accounts there. From people working in cemeteries to kids messing around, even someone grieving. Each story gives you this glimpse of something really unsettling, something hard to just explain away.
Definitely. Whether you think it's psychology, tricks of the light, intense emotion, or something else entirely crossing over, these experiences leave this deep sense of mystery, don't they? They really make you feel how thin that line can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Between the world we know and whatever else might be out there. Yeah. We hope these stories gave you some unsettling thoughts to carry with you. If you found these real-life encounters gripping, maybe explore some more tales like these. And hey, if you liked this deep dive, please give it a like, maybe share it with someone else who appreciates a good scare. And definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more content like this. Thanks for joining us on this little trip into the unknown. Until next time, stay safe, and maybe keep your eyes open, even in the quiet places. Goodbye.